warm-up routine?
We haven't changed it yet, but I was actually watching Saratoga Springs, their girls program, and they're usually in the top 2 or 3 in the country, and they were doing exactly what Steve's talking about. I was watching, my team was in the woods running their race, and I just turned around and I said, what team is that? And they were going through drills and plyometrics and you know, nothing bounding, but they were arm crosses and high knees and A skips and B skips and different types of drills. But generally speaking, we go for about a 15-minute run at a good pace, not race pace, but not a slow jog. It's something to get the heart elevated, get them sweating, and I don't want it to be more than about 30 minutes prior to race time. I want them to have about approximately 25 to 30 minutes to sit down, put on their racing shoes, do a little bit of stretching, plyometric hamstring stretches. But I totally agree, too much stretching, not enough running. We do a lot of striders. And I did see Villanova's women's program in cross country did about 25, 30 striders on the line. They went to the starting line about a half hour before the race, and they were just 50 and 60-yard striders, and they just kept doing them. So, and I said, you know, aren't they going to get tired? And somebody said, oh, it's nerves. They want to just keep on running and stay warm at the line, and they just did a ton of striders. No stretching. And I tend to believe that running is a whole lot better than stretching on race day. And
the stretching, by the way, is good. You know, I'm not knocking stretching. We stretch every day at the end of practice, because then if you're weakening the muscle for up to an hour, you're not doing anything with it. You know, and it helps stretch out the muscles at that point. But beforehand.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't stretch. I'm saying on race day or just prior to racing, you know, sitting down for a half hour and stretching isn't necessarily going to equate to race results.
Well, I found that girls are in this topic are totally different than guys. I mean, I don't mean this to be funny, but like the bathroom thing is I don't know if it's a Moorestown thing or what, but it's ridiculous. I mean, I have to actually plan that time, especially waiting in line at home, Dell. You know, I have to plan that time in there because like a kid like Bree, she goes to the bathroom and like 10 minutes later she's got to go. You know, she's got to go again. It's a nerve thing or what? But I tell them when the gun goes off, that's when we go. But you know, they don't do that. But you know, basically 40 minutes before, they do 15 minutes, come back, have your shoes ready, sit down, put your shoes on, a couple stretches, whatever you need to do, sit there, think about what the night before we would have talked about what their individual goal is in the race, think about that. And time management with my girls is like, they lose total concept of time. I'm like, yeah, we got to be on the line here in 6 minutes. And I try to, you don't want to, you know, like you said earlier, sound too panicky, but like, let's go, you know, and you know, look, it's 10 minutes to the gun. They don't have their shoes on yet. I still got to go to the bathroom. Like, it drives me crazy. And at the same time, you want to stay calm, but you know, it's important. So I try to allow time for all that, and you know, getting the bathroom stuff out of the way for girls. I find doesn't work because on the jog to the line, they're going to stop and go to the bathroom. So you know, we start heading to the start line. We set up our camp at home though, right behind the finish line. So we got a little bit of jog to the start, but you know, 12 minutes before the gun. Instead of 7 minutes, we start heading over because I know they're going to spend 5 minutes in line at the bathroom. I've given up on it. That's the way it is. And you know, a few years back, Megan Hughes, she didn't care to go and wash. She would just go. And, you know, but these kids.
One point
It's a bathroom thing.
on the warm up that I make with my guys is that if it's a hot day, we do a short, fast warm up. If it's a cold day, we do a long, slower warm up. We do make that adjustment. That's just something to think about.
That's a good idea.